Hey guys, how's it going? So my name is Derek and this is my 1991 Nissan Hardbody. I fully restored the truck and I want to do a little bit of a walk around on it. You know, I've had the channel, it's time I, really touch down on the truck, so let's get into it. So I think a good place to start is, I'm the 13th owner of this pickup truck. It was originally done up in October of 1998 the first time. It was a 90s original Minitruck. The guy did bring it to a lot of shows, and eventually he had a kid on the way, and it was just time to let the truck go, time for something new, you know? So, when I got the truck, I had a pretty big paper trail of receipts and bills of sales, so I kind of followed them. I do keep in touch with most of the previous owners, and especially the original builder of the pickup. He really enjoys seeing the progress of the truck and the fact that somebody kept it alive after all these years. Here's the truck now, and here's some of the previous pictures from some of the previous owners. So, my plan when restoring the truck again in the year 2020 was to keep the truck as close to the original build as it was back in the 90s. So, I physically replaced, I'm just going to go over all the parts I've changed that you can physically see. I've changed the grille, it's off a 97 Hardbody, same with the one-piece chrome bumper. I've changed that. I've changed the vents. They're, just eBay vents. I got rid of my blinkers down there, and I actually moved them to the side marker light, so now the side marker light is my blinker. It's an S10 front lip, cut to fit. They're four-wheel drive front fenders and 4x4 front fender flares. They have the Eagle alloy star wheels. Those are original, from the original 90s build. I did go down a tire size, and I lowered the truck on, just torsion bars on the front. You loosen them up. I have four-wheel drive upper control arms and four-wheel drive front and rear shocks. They are new doors off my parts truck. I put the chrome door handles. I put the chrome trim around the windshield. I put new mirrors, new wipers. The cowl used to be shaved, so I had to get the vents in the cowl. I put an antenna on it because the truck didn't have one when I got it. Everything was shaved off. Actually, in the original build, the door handles were shaved off as well. The bedsides are trophy truck bedsides that whoever was racing for Nissan in the Baja 1000 was using on their trucks. They were a little hard to source, but I got them on. My stepfather helped me spray the whole truck and do all the body work to the truck. But other than that, everything done to the truck is my ideas and my work. But without him, the truck wouldn't be here and wouldn't look this great. But to continue, I did the 2 1/4 inch leaf spring hanger re-drill. So my leaf spring used to sit way down there. I relocated it and cut off the excess. I have a 2-piece custom drive shaft with a slip yoke in the rear, and I have custom cut lowering blocks to fix my pinion angle as well. As again, the taillight covers are a part of the original 90s build. I have clear taillights behind them with LED bulbs. It is a new tailgate. One thing that the tailgate used to have from the original builds is it used to sit sideways, as you may have seen in one of the previous pictures. When restoring the truck, figured it would be easier and look a little cleaner, for a more modern twist. We just left the plate box straight. It was easier to fit in, and it came out great. We put a new roll pin on. I have a fully custom exhaust. It is pace setter headers, 2 1/4 inch piping all the way back. I replaced something with a vibrant resonator, and I have a magnephone muffler. And then there's an A pipe that comes off right above the axle to where I can have the duals, just because it was, something original from the 90s. The windshield was shattered when I got the truck, so I put a new windshield on it. The windows are new. I tinted them all myself. Peep the 90s Initial D reference, Night Kids. I love the show. So at one point, this truck actually went to a scrapyard. In 2016, a lady sold it to a scrapyard for 50 bucks, drove it there, and got rid of it. What had happened was there was a fuel cell right here in the bed. So that fuel cell was leaking gas and kind of raised awareness to one of the previous owners who scrapped it. So in the future, one of my plans this winter are to reupholster this top of the bed cover. As you may have seen in a previous video, I just re-put in the carpet walls. All the bed carpeting is actually from the original 90s build. I put the underglow right there. I actually did put LED underglow on it. There used to be halogen tubes, but when the truck went to a scrapyard, they picked the truck up with a forklift, and then I'd broken some of the halogen tubes. It even split the previous fiberglass front bumper, which looked cool for the time, but I really like this front end style more. So even standing right here, I put door locks in the doors. I put mud flaps on the front to try to prevent the wide body kit from getting chipped. You can see down there, it's already getting all chipped up. So eventually I want to clear wrap it. So right in here, I actually put door panels inside of the truck with Scar speakers. The interior chrome door handles are new. I have redone all of the carpet. I put a bench seat in the truck. It used to have 2 racing seats. It was pretty hard to source the gauge cluster I showed in a previous video. The truck came factory without a tachometer. It came factory without a radio, no back bumper, and it actually had rubber mats for floor. So, you know, we added in all these things. This is the original paint color. It used to be a darker purple. It's pretty hard to see on camera, the difference, but it was a lot darker. I ended up going with a little bit brighter PPG color with a ton of like pearlescent in it, just to you know, make the truck a little lighter, so at night when you see it, it doesn't look black essentially, and that you can actually tell it's purple at night. So just like any other project car, there's a lot of things you really don't see that have been done to the vehicles as well. But I also put in the vents, and then right behind here, it's a little messy because I'm using it for storage right now. There's a hole cut in my cabin bed for 4 12-inch subwoofers behind the seat. So we recut out the old hole that was cut in the cabin bed at one point, because down here you can see there's ridges. So my stepfather helped me cut it all out, and he welded in a thicker plated steel. We put braces to sturdy the rear end of the truck. And now that the steel is flat, the gasket sits flat. It used to sit as a ridge and it would leak horribly. So that's a pretty big plus. This is one of my future projects for this winter as well, is to try to get the subs in. But I did have to source and put in all the seat belts. Just so many little things, all the gaskets that go around the doors. But for the most part, I'm really happy with how the truck's come out. It's been a great time driving it. I have a million stories about this thing. I mean, it's just been nothing but smiles per gallon, you know? Another thing I remembered too. So back in the day, there used to be taillights in the spoiler. We did fill that, and unfortunately, one of the flaws with the truck right now is I was hit and ran about a week into driving the truck this summer. I probably put about like 100 miles on it after being repainted. And something like right here, where these metal hinges sit. Back then, there was this huge gouge right into the cab of the truck, actually. The metal was just slamming right into it, so we had to do quite a bit of work to fix that up and make it so that the truck could open and close the bed cover without the hinges driving right into the cab. So now it looks good. I haven't had any problems with that. But to touch up, you know, I also tinted the windows myself. I did 20% in the rear and 35% in the front. 35% is the darkest I could go and keep it legal in the state that I live in. So next, we're gonna go check under the hood. So right over here, I did an EGR delete. So it gained me a lot of space inside of the truck. So it is a single overhead cam KA24E. So basically, Nissan actually used this engine in the 240SX and in their pickup. The 240SX engine, I'm pretty sure, had different heads, a different cam. It had a different intake system, which I would love to get for this truck. One thing I didn't realize until just recently when I got the truck, there was no air filter at all right there. It was just this little air filter sitting right here. So I was like, man, you know, I need to put a box on. My hood was closing horribly, and come to find out, for anybody in the future, right down there, there's a spacer underneath the air filter. The 2-wheel drive ones sit way lower than the 4-wheel drive. And my parts truck was a 4-wheel drive, so this one sits higher. Since I had to notch out the hood, I had to notch out the top of that because it was rubbing all over the hood. You can see where it was hitting right here. So eventually, I'll try to source a 2-wheel drive one. Just a little bit of detail though. I mean, we did it right. We painted all the door jambs, all underneath the hood. I have some beauty bolts from Carbon Kings Performance holding my fenders in. I had to take out a lot of wires when I got the truck. There was wires scattered everywhere. There used to be electric windows, 6 speakers in each door. I mean, there was one of those old like sound systems for when you hit your key in here, like an alarm system. Like, there was just so many wires. So that was one of the reasons why the truck got scrapped. The lady felt a little overwhelmed, and you know, it was too much to deal with. I did put, you know, a whole new fuel system underneath it. I don't know if I said that, so sorry if I repeated it. Put all new brakes. We put a whole new, you know, clutch setup, all new lines, new, you know, master cylinder, slave cylinder, everything for that. Right here, you can see the pace setter headers and everything. I mean, it's nothing crazy. It doesn't make a lot of power. I'm hoping next year, one of my big plans is to possibly turbo the truck, you know, build the internals, different ECU, not, you know, the whole 9 yards. And I don't want to be the fastest truck out there, but I want to do something different. And I want to make a little more power out of it. You know, it'd be a lot more fun. But right before I close this up, I mean, just look at all the space we have right there. The engine crossmember sits about 1.5 inches from the ground down there. It is static. I love driving around static. It's a ton of fun. You know, one of the problems I had when I first ever got the truck, I bought the truck, it wasn't running, you know, everything was a mess. So there was a reason I replaced the bedsides and everything. That was just, they were all just made out of straight Bondo. I'll literally show a picture of the rock, one of the rocks of Bondo I have from just the top half. The sides were huge. These bedsides now are thankfully fiberglass, and they're a lot lighter too. I mean, the truck, you really notice it now. But everywhere there was just things shaved. The doors were shaved, the Bondo was cracking, the setup caught fire. And when I was restoring the truck, I just figured at the time it was easier to throw doors with door handles on it. But I won't be afraid to go back in the future. On even the red truck, we're gonna possibly shave off one of the doors and do the setup again. So, you know, but at the time it was just easier to throw doors with door handles on it. It added a little bit of chrome, and I think the truck just really needed it anyway. It was August of 2019. I was driving down the road in Biddeford, Maine. My cousin was sitting passenger side, and a lady came out of nowhere and teed the truck. She hit right there. She broke the lowering blocks, twisted the whole axle. I actually, not too long after, had to put a new differential in there as well. You can see actually there's some curb rash on the wheel from, it was a Ford Windstar that had hit me. I'll post some pictures. The pictures don't look that dramatic. It wasn't really that dramatic, but it totaled out the truck. She wasn't insured, so that was kind of what sparked the restoration, which, you know, there was a lot of good things to come out of that kind of shitty situation, to be honest. But yeah, she caved in the whole custom wide body kit. I wasn't sure what I was going to do. We were trying to think of everything. I didn't want to go back to stock bedsides because I have the staggered wheels. It's kind of what the whole truck was built around. And, you know, I wanted to restore the truck, keep it as 90s as possible, but with my own twist on it, you know what I mean? And I think it came out great, truthfully. I forgot to mention, the truck wasn't running when I got it, and the windshield was shattered. I mean, it was a mess, but it wasn't running. And, you know, I was trying to do everything I could. One day I was sitting there watching Fast and Furious, and I was like, yo, I don't have a lot of money. I just got out of high school. I need to get this truck on the road. Like, this thing is gonna, like, literally change my life. And so, you know, with a ton of motivation, I took this truck, I registered it. It had a shattered windshield, flat tires, and I drove it to the tire shop. And, you know, it was the first step. I needed to get new tires put on it. I get there, and I go to start the truck, and it wouldn't start after they put the new tires on it. So the truck came home on a flatbed. But that was step one. So I got it running. We did everything we could. I started changing coil packs, spark plug wires, distributor. I could not figure out why it wasn't running. At the end of the day, I had to put a coolant system in it. It was low on coolant when I got it. Someone had gotten rid of the reservoir. But all it ended up being was like a $12 coolant temperature sensor. Every time I'd start at the truck, I'd have to wait about a couple hours, truthfully, to even get it to start back up. So once I got that figured out, after we put in a new fuel tank and sending unit and all new lines, because we figured maybe it was the fuel cell not sending fuel, it was something as simple as that. We got the truck so it was, you know, just good enough to be on the road. I mean, like I said, it looked nothing like this. It looked ratty as hell. It took a lot. It took a lot to really get it to where it is today. I'm super thankful for it. You know, I've had a lot of great friends around to watch it grow. I was super thankful to have my stepfather there to help me restore the truck and make it what it is today. And like I was saying, like, here's another small thing you just don't see. Just to get the hood to sit flush with the fender, we had to add about 1 inch of just metal to the hinge on the inside where it bolts up, just to bring the hood down, to get it to sit flat. It used to sit up like about 1/4 inch, and, you know, it would vibrate all the time. I'm just trying to think of some more things. When I got the truck, it had these big, thick rain guards, and, you know, it might have been a big thing in the 90s. It wasn't a big thing for me, so I peeled those right off. The truck used to have actually some mid-90s Toyota Celica mirrors. Kind of made the truck look like a monkey. Wasn't really a big fan, so I went with these just base model chrome mirrors, and I think it just gives it that 90s look it really needs. I could literally sit and talk about this truck all day though, but there's one thing I want you guys to take away from it. You can literally do anything you put your mind to. Like, legit, don't give up. Like, there's such a world of things you can do. I'm just getting started. I have so many big plans with this truck. I'm gonna end up sharing some more stories about it. It looks so good. I'm so happy with where it is, and I'm super thankful. So I eventually am gonna make a part 2 to this video, just kind of describing some of the stories and what it really took to get the truck here. This was mainly, I just wanted to introduce more of the truck, give you guys a closer look, and just give you a basic idea of some of the things I had to do to get it to where it is today. I'm gonna finish off this video with a slideshow of just some pictures, just from, you know, it stays back in the 90s to when I got it, to what I made it look like, the process of restoration after I started working on it and got T-boned, and then, you know, where it is now. So after this, thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm gonna be making some of the best mini trucking content I can possibly produce for you guys, and thank you so much.